Learn about the state's third fastest growing company, Palmetto Synthetics. We're visiting with its president, Henry Poston, coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're in the Elizabeth Maddox Chapin Building on the Grand Strand campus of Horry Georgetown Technical College. The grand opening dedication is tomorrow. Get out here at 11 a.m., open to the public. Today we're visiting with Henry Poston, the president of Palmetto Synthetics and the chairman of the Williamsburg Technical College Foundation. Good morning, Henry.
Good morning.
Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
It's a real pleasure to be here with you.
An exciting opportunity to think about all that's going on with Palmetto Synthetics, to think about all that's going on with the Williamsburg Technical College Foundation and the Technical College itself. Having Jimmy Williamson on just, golly, what was that, less than a month ago.
That's right.
The excitement, of course, unfortunately, you couldn't make it up that day. Busy schedule.
It's a very exciting time we're in right now.
Exactly. Henry, let's talk about Palmetto Synthetics. Of course, let's talk about yourself first. Are you originally from the area?
I am originally from there, originally from Johnsonville, which is in Florence County. It's about 20, 25 miles from King Street. We grew up there. We started our career with Wellman, which is in Johnsonville, and then moved over to another company, started the manufacturing for Martin Cullify in the early 80s, and eventually decided to start our own company in King Street. So we moved to King Street and started a business about 5 years ago in King Street called Palmetto Synthetics.
And Henry home is now in King Street.
We moved to King Street. Jackie and I decided that we wanted to be a part of the community. We're very much committed to this entire community, so we built a home in King Street and have been living in King Street for right at 2 years now. So we feel very, very strongly about being part of the community that we have our company in, and we wanted to be actually living in town, so we have done that.
Absolutely. Henry, do you have children? Are they living with you there?
We have 2 children. We have a son who is a partner in our company. He does live in Florence and makes the commute back and forth, which is about a half an hour every day. And we have a daughter who lives in Sumter, and her husband is involved in the computer business in Sumter. They have a computer store, does sales and service of computers, and are doing very well in Sumter with the computer business.
Henry, I know what it's like for your son, who my parents have been trying to get me back to Durham forever, and so I know you probably wanted your son, as particularly active with your business, to be with you there in Williamsburg County, but it is tough to be under the parents' roof all the time.
Well, he started out with us at one of the previous companies and left. He said that, he had to show that he could do some things on his own, so he did leave, but I convinced him to come back to work with us, and he's been back with us for 5 or 6 years now and has done real well, as a partner in the company. So it is a little tough at times with the father-son relationship, but overall it's been an excellent relationship with us and our third partner. We have another partner, Benji Tanner, who we say we've been together for 35 years. David says some of that he was in diapers, but for the most part, the 3 of us have been partners for more than 35 years now. And so we have an excellent working relationship with the 3 of us.
Absolutely. That's exciting. Well, let's talk about Palmetto Synthetics. You said the company was founded almost 5 years ago.
The company was founded in 1998. We were with Martin Cullify, as I say, and it was a publicly held company. And we unfortunately got into as much as corporate America does, managing numbers rather than managing business. And we decided that we would like to be back in the private sector. So we left Martin Cullify in early '98 and formed Palmetto Synthetics. We looked around for places that we thought we could locate the company. We had several sites, potential sites that we picked out where we thought we would like to locate our company. And we decided that we wanted to be in a community that we could have some significant impact on. We didn't want to go to a Greenville or a Columbia, where we wanted to be in a community that we felt like we could have some impact on. So we finally decided that we would come to Williamsburg County. The Williamsburg County people were very anxious to get a tenant in a potentially new industrial park that they had. They had money allocated to put in infrastructure, roads, water, sewage, and such. but they couldn't get it until they had a new tenant to come in. And they couldn't get a tenant to commit to it without the infrastructure. So they were in somewhat of a catch-22 situation. So they convinced us to come to Williamsburg County, and they've been extremely cooperative with us. We've had nothing but utmost cooperation from all of the city, county, local people. It's been a very, very good move for us.
It's such a big deal as you think about it. The catch-22 that Williamsburg County was in, but for y'all, just you and Benji and David getting together, setting up Palmetto Synthetics, making the decision that you were going to land in Williamsburg County and to help jumpstart that industrial park. But what about the machinations of just starting your own company? I mean, having been, you said, with Wellman and then with the second company, setting up your own company, that's a big deal.
It was a completely unique experience for us because we'd always been involved in ongoing companies. So for a complete startup company, we learned a lot fast about how things operate because we had to do things like purchasing, find out where you buy pens and pencils from, because heretofore we'd been able to walk in and say, have me a dozen of these by in the morning, and they would be there. But we had to do all of that, so all the financial end and all, we had to build it from ground up. So it's been a really exciting adventure for us, although we've had to work hard in the 5 years to get where we're at now.
Henry, if you had a word of wisdom for viewers about starting up your own company, of course you had two partners, and so you could bounce ideas off of each other. But if you had some words of wisdom, if you were talking to students at Williamsburg Technical College and you were talking about the excitement of going out on your own, setting up your own business, what would be probably one of the most important aspects of starting your own company?
I think the most important thing is you have to have a plan. You have to have a plan laid out as exactly what you plan to do. And it's got to be a well-executed plan, and then you have to stick to your plan. We had put together a very good business plan. We put a lot of thought into it. We laid out what we thought we had to have, money-wise, people-wise, and those things, and we have stuck to that plan. We certainly feel that's one of our biggest successes is that we put a plan together and have followed it. We had a nice roadmap laid out, and we stuck with our roadmap.
So oftentimes entrepreneurs jump out, so 30, 40% of them don't have business plans because they want to get out in the marketplace as quick as possible. Obviously, later on, they wonder, what the heck was I doing?
That's right. And that's what happens is people have a good idea, but they don't have it well executed and well thought out. And they do get out and get in trouble quickly, with not enough working capital or whatever. You get in trouble in a hurry if you don't have your plan well laid out.
And even if you have your plan well laid out, you never have enough money. I mean, you're always
exactly right.
You're always cutting to make sure that. I mean, how exciting, Henry. Let's talk about some of the products of Palmetto Synthetics.
We are a specialty fiber manufacturer. We primarily make polyester fibers. We make them from both first quality resins as well as recycled resins. There's a tremendous amount of polyester that is recycled in this country from the pop bottles and the juice bottles and things like that. We use that as a portion of our raw material mix. We also, as I say, use the first quality. And we put our products into about any product that's textile applications. We go into apparel, we go into automotive applications, we have industrial applications, we have fibers that go into scrub pads, the machines that you see cleaning the floors at the grocery stores and department stores, the big machines that wax the floors. We do not make the pads, but the fiber that goes into the pad is made by us. We have practically any use. The fiber that we make is solution dyed. The color is impregnated into the mix before the fiber is actually made. And by doing this, we have a fiber that is very fast to light, very fast to washing or bleach or whatever. You can make carpets out of it. You can pour bleach on it, and it won't hurt it at all. You can put it in the areas where the sun will come through, like in a sunroom or in double glass doors, and this will not fade out because the fiber is impregnated with the colors directly into it and not just dyed.
And Henry, why wouldn't everyone do that? I mean, no one wants their stuff to fade. It's obviously, it must be more expensive.
It is more expensive, but the problem is that there's so many colors in the world. When you see carpets, there's so many different colors that people do not want to go to the trouble of taking it from the beginning, making yarn out of it, making carpet out of it. They just want to make a big roll of natural colored and then dye it in 50 or 60 shades. It's much more economical to do that. So our fiber is just used in areas where people need the value-added products. If they need automotive body cloth that will not fade, you have a 10-year cars now, and you don't want the fabrics to fade. So we're using quite a bit into the automotive application, or those applications that require the extra benefits that you get from solution dyeing.
It's amazing, Henry. Palmetto Synthetics has a dramatic impact on all of our lives, whether we're getting those products, the end products from y'all or not. Exactly what y'all do.
This is true. We go in, if you buy a gray T-shirt, the typical type things that you see the athletes wear and all, that has a small amount of our fiber in it to make the gray color in it. So it's in practically any application that you touch now, from the fabrics to your car to everywhere you go, you may have some fiber made by Palmetto Synthetics.
That is fantastic. Do most of y'all products stay in the air? Are you able to track where your stuff goes and where the end users are?
Yeah, we're actually considered a world-class manufacturer. We are actually shipping fiber throughout the world. We have an office in the UK, and he handles the European markets for us, but we ship to South Africa, we ship to India, we ship to Scandinavia. So we're putting our fiber into, throughout the world, and the special applications where they're needed.
So 5 years ago was the big day in setting up Palmetto Synthetics, and making is that correct? 5 years ago?
5 years ago, right.
Making the decision to land there in Williamsburg County. As you said, they were trying to put together the industrial park. They needed to, I think I read in reading about you that someone was highlighting and thanking Henry Poston because you showed up, looked at this soybean field, and there was the recognition that this man had the vision to see, along with his partners, that this could turn into something real.
Well, that's exactly how it happened, that we did drive into a bean field and they said, imagine our industrial park. So, and we did feel like that we could do some things, and as a result of that, we've had some other industries now in the park. We have 2 other companies have located in an industrial park. We're preparing to put up another shell building now so that we can attract some other people. So it has been very good for the county and the area to have the industrial park. It's a really nice industrial park in the area. It's been well done, and it's been very good for our area.
Henry, I think I saw that Palmetto Synthetics was recently recognized as the 3rd fastest growing company in the state of South Carolina. Can you gauge, does it go back to the basics of a business plan, really planning it out as to attributing to the success?
That's basically, we were awarded the 3rd fastest growing by the South Carolina Chamber of Commerce. We're very proud of that, and it's obviously our 2 things we see is the basic business plan, having a business plan and sticking to it. And the second thing is the quality of the labor that we have. We've had very good people in our company. People have worked hard. They've done a very good job with our quality, and as a result of that, we're selling quality and service, and our customers have well received our product, and it's been very good for us.
Henry, with so many companies moving offshore, and with the demand for products being so much more intense, how have you all been able to withstand the pressures associated with, as you say, the benefit of the great workforce there in Williamsburg County?
Well, there's no question that our area has been impacted tremendously by the NAFTA situation, with much of it going offshore, and the textile industry in our country is continuing to decline. There's companies that are 80 to 100 years old have gone out of business and will be gone forever. So our textile business is in a continued decline. But we feel like that we are protecting ourselves because we are doing specialty, we're doing unique things. We're doing things that it would be very difficult for the imported fibers to do. We can give quick turnaround. If a customer needs fiber this week, we can produce it for him and have it in his mill. If he needed to buy fiber from China, he may be talking 2 months by the time he can get it made and then get it shipped over here. And then if he has a problem with it, then he's got to worry about the logistics of getting it back or getting more. But in our case, we can do very fast turnarounds. We can do small batches, short runs, and we believe that by doing that, we're protecting ourselves from the imports that have caused a lot of problems in our country.
Absolutely. Well, you've become such an integral part of Williamsburg County, bringing Palmetto Synthetics. You and your partners, Benji and David, have made such a dramatic impact on Williamsburg County, and obviously you've taken on a big role as chairman of the Williamsburg County Technical College Foundation. Can we talk a little bit about that? Maybe we'll take a quick break.
I'd love to do that.
Fantastic. We're visiting with Henry Poston. Stay tuned to more Carolina People coming up next. We're visiting with Henry Poston, the president of Palmetto Synthetics and the chairman of the Williamsburg Technical College Foundation.
That's right.
Thanks again for being with us, Henry. This is so exciting to think about all that's going on with you and Palmetto Synthetics, but to think about you taking the time to go ahead and take on this position as chairman of the foundation there, a huge commitment. Let's talk about Williamsburg Technical College.
Okay. When we first came to Kingstree in Williamsburg County, one of the key factors that we looked at was the college situation, and you know, did we have a good technical college? And obviously we were very impressed with what we saw there. We immediately started with training people there. We sent our first class of people through the college with the special schools or the Center for Accelerated Technology. They went to class at the college. They asked us how they wanted them trained. We gave them the specifications, and they trained the people. And they did a great job of training our people. Most of those people out of our first class are still working with. We've subsequently had additional classes as we've expanded our operation. And we saw the strong need that Williamsburg Technical College has in our area, and the things that we need to do to grow it from there.
Absolutely. How exciting. And when you think about that, the responsive nature of a technical college, how they're able to set up programs that are particularly focused on your industry, if not your company.
Well, the Williamsburg Tech has always, their management or leaders have always been able to see over the hill and try to see what's coming down the road and adapt to that. And they certainly have been able to do that in recent times. We have another larger company who's come in. It's a computer help company. It has 500 to 600 people working. In fact, it's in our industrial park. And they were able to adapt, to set up, to train those employees too, which was totally different than anything that we've had in Williamsburg County. So they have to be very adaptive. They have to be ready to move to the next stage, and we have been able to do that in Williamsburg Tech.
Henry, what is your role as chairman of the Williamsburg Tech Foundation?
Well, basically, we at the Williamsburg Tech have decided that we need to expand our facilities. We have 3 buildings on campus now, and 2 of those buildings were built when the college was formed in 1969, and an additional building was built in the 80s. So you can imagine that the buildings now are becoming somewhat dated, and we decided that we need to have a campaign to add some new classrooms and a new auditorium to the campus. So the basic role of the foundation is to get the word out to our community and to the local area of what we see the needs are and what we're trying to do in our area to grow the college. We feel like the college is such an integral part of not only the community but for also economic development. If we plan to continue to grow in our area, we have to have a strong college. And we've got to do some things to upgrade our facilities in order to compete with not only the other counties in our state, but also the other states.
And Henry, when you think of the college's role and its impact on economic development, not only in the county, but throughout the state, and throughout the world, when you talk about having a sales office in the UK for your company, for Palmetto Synthetics, when you think about the impact of shipping things all over the world, and you see a basketball player wearing a gray shirt and say, that guy, he's got a little piece of me. That's right. That excitement is there, but when you think about economic development and the impact that technical college would have on economic development, how does that nexus work?
Well, if you interview the people who make decisions, such as us, to locate an area, one of the top 3 reasons, choices will be what kind of college they have, what kind of technical college they have, because 65% of the people now, the estimates show, will need some form of technical education. You know, high school is important, but the technical education is really important to add to the basic learning. So you've got to have a strong technical system in order to attract new industry to your area.
Mm-hmm. And obviously the computer business that's set up in town, the technical college was instrumental on their willingness to set up there. How about for folks for business that really predated Williamsburg Tech? Have they been able to begin relationships with the college?
Every one of them still has people that are trained there. For example, if you need a machinist or whatever, some of the older people that have been in business, they still are able to get computer skills, machine skills, and those type of things out of there. We also have a new federal prison coming to Williamsburg County. We will be training people there for the criminal justice. We want to expand that quite a bit, but we already have some programs there to enable to have people trained for the new federal prisons coming to Williamsburg County.
Yes. Henry, when you and your wife made the decision to move from Florence County into Williamsburg County, did you ever think that the impact that the county's had on you, as well as the impact you've had on the county, would ever be that dramatic?
Well, we originally, as I said earlier, we wanted to move into an area where we felt like we could have some impact on the area, and we thought that we would, but we didn't realize it would be as big of an impact as we did 5 years ago. So we made the commitment to be a part of the community, and it's worked out very, very good for us. We've been real happy business-wise and personally living in King Street.
Absolutely. Henry, you talked about some of the projects that are currently underway, the foundation's looking to fund, and obviously the lottery's had a big impact on scholarships and on other instances throughout the college, and it will hopefully continue to have that impact. Dr. Hudgens will be talking about that a little bit tomorrow on the show, and the impact the lottery's had and hopes to have in the future. So the role of the foundation's probably changed a little bit over the last couple of years, and surely since you've taken over.
Well, obviously there's not enough funds anywhere we go now. Everyone is needing more funds for everything. The lottery has been a big help to the technical college system, but it hasn't been the panacea. It certainly has not solved the problems. And there's still an ongoing debate about whether the lottery money should be used for technical colleges or whether it should be put into higher education. So, we still need funds for not only for the day-to-day operations, but certainly to expand the facilities at the college. We're going to have to look for some private support.
Yes. Henry, what do you see as the highest priority for Williamsburg Tech right now?
Well, the highest priority is to get more infrastructure put into place. We have to have some updated classrooms. We can put in computers in all the classrooms, but our wiring is outdated. We don't have the space that we need. We don't actually have a room to accommodate all of our students now. So our highest priority is actually to get some more buildings on campus.
Mm-hmm. And if you've got those buildings over the next few years, what do you think as time progresses would be some of the other challenges that you all would face if the infrastructure is there, some of the challenges that you face and some of the hurdles you really want to overcome?
Well, the main challenge still reverts back to enough funding to do the things you need to do. We still need help from the local people, taxpayers, as well as from our legislature to get the funds that we need. Our biggest challenge will be funding as we go forward. We have a great faculty, a great staff, a lot of good things happening in the area, but we still got to have some adequate funding to carry on the things that need to be carried on.
Absolutely. Henry, we've got about 3 minutes, and I just, oftentimes viewers will ask me, we have an opportunity to talk to somebody who's done well or who's grown a company from the ground up and find out from them what's in them, what has enabled them to go out and really make that. Obviously, you've got the benefit of having teamed up with Benji and having teamed up with your son, and the three of you all make an incredible team, as well as your spouses and significant others. What is it in you that's enabled you to go ahead and break away and set up your own company and really make it the third fastest growing company in South Carolina?
Well, we have a real motivating factor to take a company and make it good, and obviously we want this to go on for our children too. Early on, people say, "Why do you want to do this at your age? Why don't you just take your money and go to the beach and live?" But we said, well, we want to do it for our children too. So we're building a company that they can take long term. Our daughter has been, she was a textile graduate, and she's interested at some point in getting back in the company. Benji's son also wants to be in the company too. So, you know, we're building a legacy for them to take and run with over the long haul. So this has been a motivating factor for all of us.
Henry, do you remember your first job as a child, or first job at an early age?
I do. I started working before I was legally able to do so, and they finally caught me and said, you know, you can't work because you were not 14 yet. So I was working in a tobacco warehouse, doing a job there, but they came and said, you know, he's not old enough yet, so I had to leave. Obviously, I had worked in tobacco fields and all prior to that, but that was my first paying job outside of the farm.
That's wonderful. We're visiting with a man who not long ago, his friends were telling him to take his money and move to the beach and retire. Instead, he came to the beach this morning, not to retire, but to talk about a company which he and his partners, Benji and David, set up, which was recognized last year as the third fastest growing company in South Carolina. Obviously, the goal is to take it to first and to make this a company for his family and grandchildren and others to take forward into the future. Henry Poston, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thanks so much, Greg. I very much enjoyed it. So.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People coming up next. We want to thank Henry Poston of Palmetto Synthetics and the Williamsburg Technical College Foundation for making today's Carolina People such a great success. Get out here tomorrow, the grand opening celebration of the Elizabeth Maddox Chapin Building here on the Grand Strand campus of Horry Georgetown Technical College.